Hello! In today's Archaeoscoop, my top 3 headlines are as follows. Headline number 1 comes from the Bolivian Amazon, where archaeologists and scientists have uncovered evidence of human occupation dating back to the Holocene cusp of around about 11,000 years ago. This is challenging received wisdom that at that time the Amazon was simply uninhabitable to human beings, at least. The evidence which has been uncovered was actually recovered by drilling holes, cores, into so-called forest islands and analysing midden-like layers. In other words, layers and layers of occupation, evidence of people eating food, for example, dropping food waste, seashells, this kind of thing. And this evidence dates back all the way to 10,400 years ago, so almost precisely back to 11,000. This is, to quote the researcher involved, one of the researchers rather involved, they say, "We have discovered the oldest archaeological sites in western and southern Amazonia. These sites allow us to reconstruct 10,000 years of human-environment interactions in the Bolivian Amazon." So a wonderful bit of research, once again highlighting that human beings are incredibly resilient, and we continue to surprise ourselves in terms of where and how we can live. So a great bit of research there from the Amazon. That's headline number 1. Headline number 2 comes from Poland, near Silesia. I hope that's pronounced properly, Silesia perhaps, where a sensational find is being touted to the world as being sensational, because it's a female figurine, essentially very similar to Venus figurines, and this one is being described as sensational because so far only a few and small fragments of a few human figurines from this period have been discovered in the area. It has clear legs, waist, hips, breasts, 3 nodules at the top, which represent probably a head and 2 hands raised in the air, so 1, 2, 3. So very exciting for the archaeologists involved, and it sounds like it may well be a find that may push an understanding of the area and the period into new realms. So hence the word sensational being used. So I thought I'd highlight it, and they're very excited. That's headline number 2. Headline number 3 comes from Egypt, where it's actually the Times of India has written the story highlighting once again the problems in Egypt, specifically linked with museums, looting, and the quote-unquote security vacuum created after the Islamist president Mohammed Morsi was removed from power. They say the situation worsened when clashes erupted between troops and Morsi's loyalists, on August the 14th, and that they go on to quote actually that looters are taking advantage of this chaos. They're in fact objects which can't be carried away are being destroyed or burned, and one person is quoted as saying, "I wonder why didn't the government take some necessary measures to protect museums during this expected turmoil?" Said actually Mohammed El-Kalawi, Professor of Archaeology and Islamic Culture at Cairo University. And it's a very worthwhile question to ask, especially given that recently, if you recall, we highlighted on Archaeoscoop the call from young people, student unions, this kind of thing, to the army to protect these kinds of sites, and it seems it's not happening. So it's a real shame, as much as it is a revolution and there is a political and human cost and uncertainty going on at the moment. One can only hope that this doesn't irrevocably damage the heritage and artefactual history of Egypt, especially that contained in its museums and archaeological sites. That's headline number 3. So for those headlines, and indeed other headlines from the past couple of days, as always, check out the video information. They're all there for you to read. Do take your time and enjoy those. Just a quick note, a bit of housekeeping. Next week, Mrs. Soup and I are away on holiday. We're actually going up to Scotland, Glencoe, the Isle of Muck and the Isle of Rum, where we will be drinking some rum. Don't worry. So we're going to be away for a week, so there won't be any videos next week. However, I have just recorded a mammoth 20-something minute Questions of Doom, which I'm about to publish after this. And then also tomorrow we can expect an experimental soup looking at an early ink recipe, which I'll be filming actually tomorrow. So plenty for you to see in the rest of this week, and then I'll be having a week off. If you want to keep up to date on news stories, as ever, all you need to do is check out the Twitter feed. You don't have to be on Twitter to see this feed, but if you go to the YouTube channel homepage, you can click the little blue bird on there, somewhere towards the top, I think, on the banner. That will take you to the Archaeoscoop Twitter feed, where news stories will be being put up throughout the week while we're away. So you don't have to miss out on news. As ever, do enjoy those news stories, and until next time, bye bye.